Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So a quick bonus video tonight, no editing in this one. Sometimes I do these unboxings and often it's when I've bought something that is a vintage fragrance that I'd like to share first impressions with you on. So this one is a fragrance first released in 2005, so it's not really that old compared to a lot of things that I try and talk about on the channel, but it has suffered, or at least undergone, let's say, a reformulation since then, and I'll see how different you guys think it is. Let me know in the comments if you've tried both and if there's a big difference. I'm not too sure that there's going to be a massive difference with the current version, but let's find out what it is now. Enough of me waffling, so we'll get stuck into this one. I've just got scissors here. I don't have a fancy knife for my unboxings, so I'm just going to do it that way and make a nice incision. Let's see if we can get in here, and let's see how they've packaged it from the person on eBay. I bought this one. It's a 50ml bottle, and it was, I think, £36 plus postage, so about £40 altogether, and it's kind of nearly full from the photos. So they've packaged it in newspaper, fair enough. And can you guess what it is yet? Oh, I didn't realise we had a box, so that's a bit of a bonus. So this one is Dior Homme, the 2005 release. And the perfumer on the original version that I hopefully have here is Olivier Polge. This box here, you can tell, I think I saw a video the other day about this, I was checking, and if the eau de toilette there is written inside the black box rather than down here outside it above the vaporizer spray, then that should signify that it's the vintage original version. For all you geeks out there who know about this stuff, I'll show you the bottom of the box too. Some kind of batch code there, and on the back we can see it looks like that, natural spray. Simple box design, but kind of a classic, I guess. Let's get that newspaper out of the picture there, and let's open it up. So when we have a look at the bottle, we're going to see the key distinguishing feature that tells us it's the vintage version, hopefully. Okay, so there we are. If you have the silver stem there for the sprayer, then that signifies that it is the vintage version. It should hopefully have the word Dior etched onto the sprayer thingy itself. Weird that you have that kind of stem or thing covering the sprayer. Most fragrances don't have it. And nice touch. Great bottle design, and it's at least about 90% full. Hard to sort of see that because I'm tilting it, but it is 80-90% full, so pretty happy with that. Bottle design, a real classic. Of course, after that came Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum, numerous other flankers. There's an Eau, Dior Homme Cologne, many a Dior Homme Sport. This one, of course, the original. Let's list the notes. So in the top we have lavender, sage and bergamot. In the mid it's iris, amber, cacao and cardamom. And in the base we have patchouli, leather and Tahitian vetiver. In 2011 the fragrance was reformulated and redone by perfumer Francois Demarchi. Numerous people actually say that the newer version is just as good, if not better, than the old one. Some people talk about a pear note in the original version, I think, that I have here, and I do like a nice juicy pear. So let's find out what it smells like. I don't actually own a bottle of the original, so that's a bit of an epic fail in terms of not being able to do a comparison for you guys. I have smelt it numerous times in stores and did have a sample from Fragrance Samples UK at one time. Thank you to Boots for the tester strips, not sponsored. Okay, 2 sprays should do it. Wow, what a lovely smell. Sometimes I've spent so much time admiring the flankers to this one, Dior Homme Intense and the Dior Homme Parfum, that sometimes I forget how great the original fragrance is. Really, really nice waxy kind of iris note. Definitely a certain freshness about it. And a note of cacao, that kind of should be a cocoa chocolatey thing. There's just an undertone of that. Very smooth. I get a bit of that leatheriness, a very smooth kind of modern leathery feel underlying this lovely bergamot. Lavender, I definitely pick up on some lavender, and that's that waxy iris note. So it was famous, this one, for smelling a bit like lipstick or reminding people of their mum's handbag, apparently. So kind of a Freudian thing maybe going on with us boys, taking us back to some childhood memory, I don't know. Iris, of course, much used in perfumery before Dior Homme, but I think it tended to be favoured a little bit more in female perfumes, and certainly the way this particular iris note smells was something new and unique, I think, when it first came out in 2005. Since then, we've had numerous fragrances which have tried to copy it. We've had Valentino Uomo, we've had Prada L'Homme, Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum that came out a couple of years ago, very similar to the Dior Homme Intense. And it's a real thing now, the Iris fragrance, and there are some other really good ones. But this one, in a way, was the originator in the men's fragrance game. I'm not going to comment on differences between this and the modern formulation. I want other people to let me know more about that. What I can tell you is I'm really happy, just from a collecting point of view, to have the vintage version with the silver stem, and I really like that smell. And I've now got the original Dior Homme, I've got the Intense, and I've got the Dior Homme Parfum. The Dior Homme Intense that I have is not a vintage one, and the Dior Homme Parfum, there isn't really a vintage. I think there was only ever one formula, although someone out there will no doubt tell me I'm wrong about that. Really nice mixture of fresh bergamot, lavender and iris. A lovely and classic scent, a Hall of Fame 10 out of 10 really for a lot of people out there. Let me know what you think of Dior Homme. Have you got the vintage? Have you got the modern formula? Have you compared them? I'd love to know your thoughts. Don't forget, if you'd like to see an extra video from me every week, head on over to my private members club. That's on Patreon. There's a link in the description. If you join up, it's just $2 a month, and it's an extra video every week, plus more stuff and interactivity. We have a really nice growing community there, and you get a chance to talk to me in a little bit more depth maybe than I can manage on the YouTube comments. So it's really well worth checking out. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. As ever, remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. See you in the next video. Bye bye.